Guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, my name is Tichie. Karibu. Now today's video is going to be super chill. Hey, hold on, if you haven't checked out all the details for this hair, it's already up on my channel, so click and go check it out after watching this video, of course. Now this video is going to be super chill. I want it to be super chill because we'll just be discussing lessons that we've learned in 2021. I'll be sharing my lessons that I learned in 2021. So let's get this video started. So many of you know that at the beginning of the year I had set up the SQ to be my fashion and filming studio. So that space had me so hyped. Like, as a creative, when you have a space that just when you get in you just feel like creating, it's a really good space, it's a really good feeling. You need to have positive vibes for you to create. Yeah, so that space was like my little heaven. So but then again, when it came to like February, I lost my grandmother, so experiencing a loss in the family was like, it took a toll on us. We still feel the loss up to today. It's not something that we expect to get over, it's something that we just have to live with. So yeah, so that happened, and then now coming back to Nairobi after all that, as months went by, I started feeling so overwhelmed with social media. I remember I stopped being active on social media, I think on April, or towards the end of April, beginning of May. I'm not really too sure. But I count it like from end of April, beginning of May. I count it from May actually. So I stopped being active on all my platforms, all of them. So I felt overwhelmed. I felt burnt out. I felt like everything was moving too fast for me to have even the energy to produce. Like, there's a new challenge, there's a new trend. Like, it was just moving too fast, and I felt like I just needed to calm down. I need to shut things down and just like breathe, like live like a normal person, not someone who is active and creative on social media. So I was like, I just took a chill pill, like literally. So and I didn't realize how long that would take. Like, I just got comfortable in that chill mode. I was like, but I've never taken a break on Instagram specifically. Like, people used to take breaks. I was like, before even COVID, people used to take breaks for like 2 weeks, or I'm getting off social media. I was like, why? I mean, I never used to get the point as to why people will get off social media, as in I'm like, but then for me, I never took breaks, and when I took a break, it was a long break. So I started coming back on social media slowly. I started with Facebook because I felt like I needed somewhere I would feel some sense of community. So I came back on Facebook, and I was mostly active on Facebook groups, especially ones dealing with natural hair. Yeah, which is my main niche, I feel like. So I came back to those groups slowly, and also then I moved slowly to YouTube. So I would say, like, for Facebook and YouTube, I took a break for like, let's say like 3 months. So it wasn't like a full 6 months. And then I did those for a while, and some of you looked for me in those platforms like, hey girl, we miss you on Instagram. I was like, oh God. How do I tell you guys that I need a break? So I was like, don't worry girl, I'll be back. I'll be I'll just come back soon. I didn't even know the exact date. I actually thought I was going to come back after a year, so I don't know. So yeah, so after going back on Facebook and then coming back on YouTube, I also felt that YouTube has some sense of community. That's why I slowly went back on those two platforms. And then I recently told someone that I am off Instagram when I was still off Instagram. And he was like, but did anyone die? Did anything happen that now you are off social media? And then I was like, oh, actually something did happen that I am kind of happy that it happened while I was not on social media, because I feel like it would have affected me more if I was on social media when it was happening. So I was kind of like, okay, it happening when I wasn't there. Because when I found out after it happened, like a few months after, I feel like it didn't hit me as hard as it would have hit me when I was actually on social media. So I think some things just happen for the best, or some things just happen. I don't know if it was my intuition or if it's the universe. But like things just, I feel like it was okay for me to be off social media at those months. Yeah. So what I have learned from being off social media is the importance of balance. You see, these people, some of the people that I followed on Instagram used to take breaks, but I never took a break. I never saw the sense of taking the break. But now I realize that I need to give myself breaks in between. Like I think every quarter I'll be giving myself a break, so that I don't get to a point where I need to take a long break because I'm burnt out, I'm exhausted. I used to get on Instagram and like, hey, where are people getting this energy to do all these things? Like mentally you want to have the energy, you are willing mentally, but you just physically you're just tired. You're tired. You're like, my energy is zero, if not negative. So I think the importance of balancing your life, like having work-life balance, because I felt like I needed to live like a normal person who is not on social media. So having that work-life balance is super, super important, even if you're on social media, because social media is your work, so you need to take that break. Yeah, so that's one of the many lessons that I learned from taking a social media break. Also, I felt like my creativity was being affected. I felt like I wasn't creating. I wasn't even dreaming, guys. I wasn't dreaming. And you know, for creative, dreaming is the source of your everything. So I wasn't even dreaming. I felt I was suffering from insomnia. I feel like I was stressed. So I felt like I needed to just take that chill pill. It was a lot. It was a lot. Like I needed to take a break. Yeah. So when I was on this social media break, I thought of like reflecting and just working on myself. I wanted to work on myself, get me to a better position where I can handle all these things that are coming at me, or just handling everything in a very calm way. So I thought of taking care of my mental health and my mindset. Those two go hand in hand. So let's talk about mental health. Now, I've never been into meditation, but I started exploring meditation and words of affirmation, and I mean, especially meditation. Now I understand why Oprah always has her staff meditate during lunchtime, during the lunch hour, even if it's for 10 to 15 minutes. She tells them to meditate. and the importance of meditation. Now, I have experienced the importance of meditation. Like my day is different when I start my morning routine with meditation in it. Like I set the mood, I set the tone. Like there's this sense of calmness in me and how I handle things throughout the day when I meditate in the morning. Like it does make a huge difference for me. I have seen like tremendous change in just peace of mind. I highly recommend, if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend you try it. I started off with the one that releases all the negative energy, because for me, my negative thoughts were weighing me down and I didn't realize that. So waking up every morning and I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I go throughout the whole day saying I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this, that, and I have tasks to do, but my mental state is, you're tired. You get? So I needed to do a meditation session which takes care of the negative thoughts, and that made a tremendous difference. I'll put that link in my description box so you can try it out and see how it feels. You can do it every morning and just see how you feel throughout the day. So when it comes to the mindset, I realized that your mind is such a powerful thing. It's such a powerful organ. Your mindset is so important. So the moment I realized like I need to set a different tone when it comes to my mindset, I wanted to explore different perspectives when it comes to mindset. So I decided to invest in a lot of books that I felt that I wanted to pick the author's brain and also just understand different perspectives, like I said. So let me share with you the books that I have been reading. Like, I know some of these books are old and I personally I knew about them, but I didn't care enough to read them. So one of them is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now this one I read like about 2 years ago, but I always refresh. I haven't read the whole thing because the book at the back has lots of stories, like life stories. I just like reading the first few chapters because that is where it hits me the most. So one of the things that I learned from this book is, don't say you can't afford it. Ask yourself, how can I get it? So when you apply that to, like, let's say you want something that is expensive that you said, I can't afford that. Let's say, for example, you want to get yourself a car or like an expensive equipment or an electronic in your house. Before you say, oh, that's too expensive, ask yourself, how can I get it? What do I need to do to get it? How can I get it? Do you need to do 1, 2, 3 to get it? Yes. Then do 1, 2, 3 for you to get it. You get what I mean? So the poor dad used to say, oh, I can't afford it. But the rich dad used to ask, how can I get it? You see the power of the mind. So another book that I am currently reading is this 5 a.m. Club. I've shown you guys this book in one of my vlogs. Now, from the title, you'd think like it's just waking up early in the morning at 5 a.m. I mean, no, the concept is that, but the own your morning, elevate your life. Now, that is the whole, the general feel of the book, but it still stems back to your mindset. What are you doing in that morning? What habits are you building in your morning to set the tone for the day? You get what I mean? So it's not necessarily just waking up at 5 a.m. It is habits that you cultivate that will help you reach your goal for the day, meet your targets for the day, set you up for success. You get what I mean? So it's all in your mindset. So another book that I haven't even started, but it's all the rave, it's Atomic Habits. Everyone has been talking about Atomic Habits on Instagram, not on here on YouTube, and I'm yet to start it, but it's tiny changes, remarkable results. So from what I've just gathered from here and there is how to build good habits and break bad ones. Now that is like it builds up in your entire, it does build up to your patterns, how habits do us, so the bad habits versus the good habits. So I haven't actually read this book, but I'm looking forward to reading it. The idea is to change your mindset, and I'm here for it. So consider picking up these books, and I intend to add more books for this nature of books, because I'm not really a fiction reader. I don't like reading stories. I'd rather watch a movie. But when it comes to self-care books like this ones, I like hitting those facts, hitting those gems, those nuggets, those gold nuggets. Yeah, so that's how I have been trying to take care of my mental health as well as my mindset. So another thing that I've learned in 2021, which I feel like we should have learned this a while back, is self-care. You've seen the past couple of years, people have been talking about taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health, which ties up with what I talked about before, taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually. You guys know I'm a spiritual person, not really a religious person, but a spiritual person. So yeah, I've been taking care of myself. I have a whole self-care routine that I do that takes care of me physically. Now, when it comes to physically, like just taking care of your overall body makes you feel good. And when you feel good, it sets the tone in which you can take care of the other aspects of yourself, of your being. Yeah, so I'll link that video up here. You go check it out. Some people say self-care is not about giving yourself a bubble bath or pouring yourself some nice champagne, something sparkly, but I feel like it's all of that. It's all of that, plus taking care of your mental health, plus taking care of your emotional health. Yeah, so it's all of that, because you're not just one aspect. It's a balance. So yeah, doing your bubble bath, putting in some Himalayan salt or Epsom salt, that helps to heal your body, heal your muscles, loosen up your tension. Like, it helps you take care of this body, this temple that you are given to live in this world. So I don't think that taking care of yourself physically is not part of self-care. It is part of self-care. Yeah. It is not all about self-care, but it is part of self-care. Yeah, so yani, after a bubble bath, you sleep like a baby. And for someone like me who suffers from insomnia is, I love giving myself bubble bath. It just relaxes me and it calms me down and it just gives me peace of mind. So yeah, definitely part of my self-care. But I know not everyone has a bathtub, and taking a warm shower, hot shower if you want, using products that make you feel good, smell good, like cater to your body, like just that, taking a time out for yourself, that is self-care. Okay, And then once you do that for yourself, you want to do more, and it sets the tone. So definitely worth doing. And it's not like a regular shower. No, this one you take time out to do extra steps. Feel like you're pampering yourself. Yes, that's the right word. And that sets the tone for the rest. So I never used to take time to do, like, take care of myself spiritually. Now, when I took the social media break, I now give myself like Sundays off. I try to give myself Sundays off where I just have this session. It's like Sunday service, but not really, where I just feed my spiritual side. And it's been like, I have come to appreciate feeding every aspect of being a human. And it does, like, in the long run, if you're thinking long term, it does help you, because I mean, you don't have to do extremes if you're doing little by little over time. You see, if you incorporate it into your habit, like the way people go to church every Sunday, if you do that every Sunday, you need to take care of your spiritual side. I mean, it does balance out. So even if you feel like, I am not religious, I don't need to go to church, at least take some time out to feed your spiritual side, grow spiritually. It is important. I've seen the importance of it. I feel balanced after such a session. So I've taken care of myself physically, I've taken care of myself spiritually, so, and emotionally. Now, emotionally, I feel like in the future I'm going to explore therapy for my emotional well-being, but for right now, I am just taking care of myself spiritually, I mean emotionally, through journaling, you see, through having just being self-aware, being self-aware. And not only that, but also watching videos of therapists talking about something that you can relate to at that time, and also just journaling, putting down what you've learned. It does help with your emotional well-being. So yeah, those are the things that I've incorporated, and I've seen some changes in terms of just feeling much better, not feeling weighed down, not feeling like you're overwhelmed. Yeah. In terms of relationships, I decided to start with the relationship with self. So this year I was like, I'm just going to take care of myself. And when you start taking care of yourself, it puts a strain on other relationships, because especially if you used to give so much into relationships, right now it felt like you are being selfish, you're being self-centered. Why wouldn't you do this for me? You used to do this for me. You see, now taking care of yourself and focusing on myself, it brought about a lot of me having to put healthy boundaries. And if boundaries are not well received, so it needed a lot of adjusting from myself and from my relationships around me for them to accept the boundaries that I'm putting, boundaries that I'm communicating. So when it comes to like relationship with yourself, and then putting healthy boundaries to be able to relate with others, to have a more wholesome relationship with others. Yeah, when you're starting out, there's definitely going to be some friction, but like I don't want to say burden, but not burden, like the weight that is lifted off of you by saying no as a complete answer. I mean, to a question, like saying no when you used to say maybe, let me think about it, Nene, as in now you're just like, no, I don't want to do that, or just no as a complete sentence, or just communicating your boundaries, and just communicating in general, like it's different. So yeah. Yeah, when you start focusing on yourself, yeah, you just expect such kind of reactions. But yeah, so for me, when it comes to relationships, that was the deal. Now I'm coming to a point where it has to be like a balanced relationship, where now I have what I want, and then you have what you want, and then now we come to a reasonable understanding. And I feel like all relationships should be like that, because even the other party can communicate their boundaries to me. So another thing that I learned this year is to focus on what you're good at, what comes to you effortlessly. Focus on that, because I realize most of us tend to focus on what we are not good at. Like, I'm not good at this, I want to know how I can be great at this, but tend to downplay or just ignore what you are naturally good at, because what you're naturally good at is like second nature to you. You're like, but this is normal, but you don't realize that that is your gift. It doesn't come easy to someone else. So recognize what you're good at, focus on what you're good at, and then now push boundaries within that spectrum of what you're good at to elevate yourself, to get really good at it. So that's what I realized, like, hey, I need to focus on what I'm good at and stop comparing myself with others. Like, stop comparing myself with, hey, that person does this, that person does it, but what do I do? You get what I mean? So focusing on what you're good at, it comes naturally to you. You don't have to struggle. It is effortless. That's when you know, I'm good at this, because it's second nature to you. Focus on that, build on that, invest in that, and you'll see the fruits. I mean, I think that is one of the biggest lessons, because we only limit ourselves in our minds. We only limit ourselves. Yani, the only person limiting you is you, and you realize you can only go to this point because you have allowed yourself to go to this point. Yet you can go even further, you can do better, you can do even greater, yani, if you focus on what you're good at. So I've realized I need to focus on what I'm good at and just fully commit to that. So yeah. Not focusing on, I'm not good at that, maybe I should invest in that so that I can come and get any, I can add on to what already I'm good at. No, focus on what you're good at, invest in what you're good at, and you will see it flourish. Okay guys, so those are the things that I learned in 2021. I mean, wow, it has been a roller coaster for me. But eventually I'm here. Yeah. So how has 2021 been for you? I can't believe it's the end of the year. We're setting 2022. It's an election year for us. Who knows all the things we'll be watching 2022. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I am grateful for 2021. I am hopeful for 2022. Yeah. So guys, you let me know. I don't know. I am looking forward to growing. Do let me know what you guys think. And guys, Happy New Year! Guys, stay blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye guys.